growing up then and now. I am your host, Josh Marlin, and today we are joined with Eric Hydrick. How are you doing today, Eric?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Josh. Appreciate it.
And Chris Ike. How are you doing today? So basically, the little rundown is so we have obviously different generations here, and I have some topics for us to talk about. So the first one is so technology and social media. I would definitely say that is something that is new to some people, and me definitely. Half my life was didn't have a phone, didn't have no game station or anything, and the other half was basically social media is everything nowadays. With AI and everything else. So, what has been your experience like growing up, like half your life without social media and technology, and then now that kind of being everything? Eric?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just want to start off by saying I feel bad for our kids because they grow up now full social. They don't even have that, right? That experience that you were talking about. But to answer your question, Josh, um, I really do truly miss the days without it. I think I just miss being able to, like, I could go outside and literally I had no curfew. I rode skateboard around the town. It was a pretty large city, like 200,000 people. And I had like no worries. Parents were fine with it. It was just, I don't know. And of course, not everything is rainbows and lollipops, right? I'm sure there were some bad things that happened, but with social media and like all this increase in technology, now when the bad things happen, it's like in your face constantly. And I kind of miss the good old days, right? I don't know how to explain it other than that. So, um, yeah, I wish we could go back to that time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I mean, when I was younger, I feel like I was never inside the house. My mom was always going in and out of the house, get water or something, and my mom would get mad at me. But other than that, I was out the house all the time. How about you,
Yeah.
Eric? Or Chris, I'm sorry.
Hey, Chris, you're muted. Uh-oh.
We're
Can
having
you
a little
hear?
bit of technical difficulties, but
Chris, can you
I
hear
don't,
us? You're
yeah, I
muted.
don't think he hears us.
He's coming. He's got it. Nope. Still no. Maybe we'll just have to talk, Josh. We'll
Yeah.
figure Chris's out later.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I totally understand with that. The social media aspect of everything. Like you said, with everything, with all of it being in your face now, I feel like, I mean, my little brother, he's just cooped up in the house all the time. Game station, he has a flat screen TV now in his room. When I grew up, we had one big giant box TV in the middle of our living room. And, we'd wake up in the morning and we'd go and the TV would be turned on and whatnot.
Yeah. Hey, I
Um,
was just going to say this. This just happened yesterday. Like, true story. We were at the zoo, the Omaha, Nebraska Zoo, which is apparently ranked like number 1 in the U.S. I didn't know that. But there's this cute little kid walking with his parents. He was probably 5. He was trying to take a picture of his parents with the phone. And then we're like, hey, we'll help you out. We'll take the photo. So he gave us the phone. We took their photo or whatever. And then they were like, hey, what do you say to these nice young people? He grabbed the phone and starts walking like this away from us. And they're like, hey, whatever his name was. Hey, Jimmy, get back here. What do you say? He couldn't even look us in the face because he was so attached to the phone in a zoo full of like all kinds of animals. So that's what's happening nowadays.
yeah, no, I had piggybacking on that, I had a situation the other day while I was driving, and citizens always come first when you're driving. And I was coming to make a right hand turn, and somebody on their phone just not even looking either way. Like if I was distracted, and something happens, he just walks straight across. No crosswalk, just jaywalks just on his phone, and doesn't pay no attention to me. And I'm just trying not to get road rage because try to stay calm, but.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah,
that's
no, I
annoying.
appreciate that feedback. We'll go ahead and go to commercial break, and we'll be right back with Hey, welcome back, everybody. Appreciate everybody for tuning in after that commercial break. And yeah, kind of just going back to what we were talking about with the different generations. School life. School life is big. We're in school right now, and we're this wasn't a thing 20 years ago, being face to face on camera. So I kind of grew up in a small city charter school type of situation. So we were a lot of pen and paper growing up. And I know like my 8-year-old niece is going to school in like first, second grade, and they're already giving them like little HP Chromebooks to complete their night out so-called homework. What was that kind of growing up with the school life with you?
Oh man, I still remember. You were probably in the school around the same time I was? You remember the Apple computer when they first came out? They had like the yellow, or like they had green and red, and they were huge. They were like massive.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you'd have to go to the library to use those. We didn't have obviously the MacBooks and stuff that they're getting. Yeah, way different. In fact, like when the teacher wanted to show something on the board, we had those old projectors too. He'd write on this transparent thing that shot up on the wall.
Yeah, I know.
But you know, obviously technology isn't all bad. I feel like those kids, they almost need that stuff nowadays to integrate and to stay ahead, to at least keep up with what's happening, because touchscreens is going to be everything. I mean, even in your car now, you hardly get gauges. You know, you don't really get those old gauges. Everything's touchscreen. So I feel like they kind of need them. Now, is second grade a little bit too early? I guess, I don't know. That's personal opinion, but yeah, man, of course we never had that stuff, but it might be necessary now.
Yeah, no, there's definitely pros and cons to it. Kind of with the pros and cons, like when I was in middle school, like kind of what you said, like the little MacBooks where you go to the library and kind of do what you have to do on that, whether it's homework or video games or whatever. We had a class where, I mean, mind you, we were in second and third grade, where it was a period strictly for like our free period, I guess you could call it, where we could log on like the computers and kind of just play the different video games and Tetris and whatever else was very popular at that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's the classroom culture is just a lot different now. It's
Yeah, no, I totally agree. In fact, we've got two kids. We live in an RV full time, and we have two kids, and they're both under the age 3. So we're kind of going through that right now with young kids. Like, what do we do with school? Do we want them to be homeschooled, or do we want to put them in a certain school, and have them be potentially subject to whatever? You know, there's certain things going on in schools right now. It's kind of scary. So even homeschooling, I know maybe that's not like the topic of discussion, but there's kind of this divide happening, and we're feeling it. So I think we might homeschool our kids for a while. So I don't know. And I'm not sure, you know, what that looks like quite yet, but we'll find out as we go, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely a different route to go.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you taking the time. We're going to go ahead and go to commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Dope.
That's
Wow.
Wow. Perfect temperature, perfect taste. Ember, the world's first temperature control mug.
when your family is growing in ways you never expected.
You'd like to be outside the city.
Agents who are realtors are here for it. Here for the journey. Here with local knowledge beyond the listing. Here for it all, because that's who we are.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. And for our last topic today, it was kind of going back to what Eric said earlier in the show about like the freedom and like the type of safety precautions that had gotten that his parents used to give him the ultimate freedom when he used to go out. So freedom and safety and like how much independence you had as a kid. What was that like?
So I grew up with a single mom and I had no siblings. And so mom worked like 3 jobs. I'm not even kidding when I say she was probably gone like 7 a.m. most of the times didn't come home till 10 p.m. So I'd like just heat up some food, just like kind of fend for myself. You ever seen Matilda, the movie Matilda, where she grows up making cakes and stuff? Didn't have any magic powers though. But I mean, man, I had a lot of freedom. And the only reason I tell you that backstory is because I don't know that it was necessarily her choice, but what do you do, right, when you're working that many hours or whatever? So what was it like having all that freedom? It was good, man. But of course, I found myself in some bad situations, running with a bad crowd, doing things I shouldn't be doing, but that's how you learn too. So I don't know how you grew up, but I had a ton of freedom, man. I had like hardly any curfew. So
yeah, I'm honestly somewhat the same way. I grew up with 4 other siblings, 2 somewhat my age. So every time we went out, we kind of just not really ask, which doesn't sound very good, but kind of just be like, oh, mom, we're going to the park. And she'd be like, okay, like, whatever, just obviously stay together and be safe. But like one rule I live by, especially growing up and we live so close to a park and not having a phone to like be able to communicate with everybody. My parents always said that if I was out and the street lights came on, that's basically like the time, okay, like start wrapping whatever you have up and start heading back to the house. And being that close to a park, my mom also, like, she's a really good whistler. So she used to do like this one whistle and you could hear it for blocks, and like you can kind of be like, okay, like kind of wrap things up and head back home.
If I was your neighbor and I hear the whistle, I'm like, oh, Josh's gonna get it. He's gonna get whooped
No.
if he doesn't come home.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you had about a couple minutes to respond, and if you didn't, then it was a whole thing when you got home.
That's hilarious.
And I don't know, it's definitely different now. Like having phones, you can go wherever you want to go and get a phone call. Hey, when you come back to the house? And that's kind of how it is now.
Yeah. I think I was like, I might have been 13 when I got a phone, and that was good. Like, obviously, that's a good way for your parents to. Like in my case, my mom could reach me, right? So, and I had a license too. So, I don't know. I feel like you almost need a phone nowadays. Like you can't just whistle across the housing unit development. You need a phone. That's just kind of how it is. So, and kids are getting phones younger and younger now too.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, it's safety wise too. There's different apps and stuff you can download, and you can, like, it's down to the T now. Like it pinpoints you exactly your location. If you're driving, it shows the max speed you're driving, and it's pretty crazy now. So
that is, yeah, that's wild.
And I don't know. Growing up, we just had all the ultimate freedom. I used to just take my bike and kind of just ride around the city and do what I had to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on, Eric. It was good to kind of get insight on the similarities we had growing up and the differences. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, Josh. And it was great chatting with you for sure.
All right. Yep. Sounds good. All right. So that's all we have today for Right Now, Back Then. So tune in next week or the week after, when we're together next. And we're going to go ahead and interview somebody else and get some insight on what they had right now and back then.